They call them Hessian flies because they think that the mercenary Hessian soldiers brought them over in straw bedding in the Revolutionary War.
The Hessian fly is a problem because it robs nutrients that we need to make maximum yield in our crop. At a minimum, it creates a feeding site and shuttles nutrients to itself so that it can complete its life cycle. And of course, the wheat needs all the sugars and starches it can take to make yield. In addition, early on, it can kill tillers. Ideally, you'd want to make sure that you were scouting your wheat, I'd say weekly at a minimum. Generally, most growers notice they have a problem early winter. They'll describe their wheat as going backwards. And of course, when we grow a crop, we want it to go forwards. What I'm really looking at here is stand quality. So I can see over here a stand where I'm missing a bunch of different plants and it's really thin and really behind. And then we could look at a stand right here that's much thicker and probably a little bit more resistant to Hessian fly. Really, the way that you're going to identify you have a problem is by digging in the soil, finding the fly itself. I want to be careful that I don't knock them out because sometimes they can actually be loose in the soil, but generally you'll find them on the plant itself. And they always hide behind these sheaths of leaves. So I want to pull these dead leaves off and see if I can find them at the base.
Oh yeah, look at that.
The Hessian fly has multiple generations a year, so it can attack the crop at almost any point. But the most severe infestations are in the fall when it's emerging as a small seedling because it can actually kill the plant. So this time of year, the Hessian fly is still a problem, but instead of killing the plant, it's going to feed on the plant, rob nutrients that are needed for yield, and we'll see sometimes the tillers that lodge in the spring before harvest, so that essentially becomes an unharvestable spike. You've heard the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's really the case with Hessian fly. There's really some things we should have done before we planted the crop to prevent Hessian fly. The most important thing you can do, and a thing that's free, is to plant a resistant variety. On top of that, you could also plant with an insecticidal seed treatment, and that should be the case when we have a susceptible variety and we know that Hessian fly is going to be a problem. But really, once we have Hessian fly in the field, there's not a lot that can be done except in really severe situations. You can't understate the value of a good crop consultant, and so there's many good independent crop consultants. There are seed companies and commercial dealers that can help with scouting, and there's also, of course, NC State Cooperative Extension that can help identify the problem.